Hi, this is Mark from Wiki. In this GSAP and Elementor tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can easily create a highlighting text on scroll effect. So let me give you a quick demo. You've probably seen this a million times when you scroll down a website. And right here, this block of text, you can have it where when the user slowly scrolls, you can see it's going to just scroll one letter at a time to a different color. So that's what we're going to be covering in this tutorial. So this video is going to be organized with timestamps for different use cases. So you could just jump to that section if it kind of fits your project. And all of the code used in this tutorial is going to be linked below in the description. So you can just copy and paste that into your own Elementor website. So now let's just jump into this Elementor page and get started. Okay, so here we are on that Elementor page. And first, just let me show you how everything is structured. This way you can kind of understand how this page is laid out. So the very first chunk right here, I just call it a blank container, and I have 100 VH. So this way we could just visually see when this new section is going to come in. So this next section is where all the magic is going to be happening with this effect. So I have it where the VH is just at 75, and then I just have this block of text. And then right underneath it, this is where all the magic is going to happen. This is where all of your code and GSAP stuff is going to be added, is right on the page. And then I just have another blank one right down here so we can just kind of see these trigger markers. So these markers in GSAP are really cool. And honestly, if without them, it would make the tool really hard to use because it helps you give a visual of when these effects get triggered. And then right below it, I have another blank heading right here. So later in the tutorial, I'll show if you have multiple chunks of text like this and you want that split effect, you have to use different code. So that's why I have the different timestamps. So if you need that, just jump over into that timestamp because the code's going to be a little bit different. And then we just have another blank section right down here. So just a really simple demo page. Okay, so now we can go ahead and start adding the classes and all that code and just kind of walk through everything. So the very first thing you need to do is tag your section that's going to have this effect. So I found that this is usually the best case scenario where you want to tag this right here, this blue container. I wanted to have it where you can see right here where it says scroller start. You could start the effect once this hits about 50% of the screen. Then it will start to animate these letters in one by one. And then when that section gets right here to where it says scroller end at the end of the blue, that's when the effect will be over. So in order to do that, you need to give that section a class. So if I just go into this whole container right here, if you want to just use my code like copy and paste it, you're going to want to call it the same class. So as you can see, it's just text dash split. And that's all you have to do for that CSS. Then what you're going to do is, in this case, I'm using a heading widget. And this is going to be really important. You're going to want to select it as an H2. You, of course, can choose any other H's or a P or anything like that. But if you just want to use my code, you could just keep it as an H2, and then I'll show you how easy it is to change it if you have it as an H1 or whatever it may be. Okay, and then, like I said, all of this code is going to be in the description below. So you can just go ahead into the first one, which is the single use case where you just have one block of text. You want to have this effect, and that's it. This is going to be the most bare bones way to do it. So what you do is you just copy that HTML code and just put it into a widget right here. And then I'll quickly go through all of these different settings. So this right here is going to be how you get GSAP into your website. So you can always download these and serve it locally if you wanted. So if you don't have to hit the CDN every time, you can go ahead and do that. But for this demo, this is going to be good. And then if you just scroll down right here, you can see this is where we called that container called text dash split. So you're going to want to make sure that stays the same. And then right here where it says H2, let me expand this a little bit more. So if I go ahead and expand this, and like I said, this is an H2 block of text. If you have an H1, you would change that to a 1 right here instead of an H2. And then down here, it's just saying, okay, split it by characters. And this color right here is going to be your starting color. So I found it best to just add the colors that you want it to wipe on. Just do it all in GSAP. It's a little bit easier. So if I go into our demo, that is this color right here, that kind of transparent. It's actually a little bit of a transparent white, and then I just have it wiping onto a white color. So that's what that first hex is that state that it's going to be before it gets wiped. So that's what this whole hex is right here. This is the alpha right here. And then right down here, this is where you're going to want to change the color to what you wanted it kind of get split into, which is the white color. So just add your white hex color here or whatever it may be. And then down here, you're going to want to make sure that this is the same as up here. So text-split. So you might need to change that in 2 spots. If you don't, you want to use my CSS. And then this right here, you could always change this and it's going to be global. So what this means is it's going to start at 50%. So once the user scrolls 50% down the page, which is where this marker right here is called scroller start. And by the way, this tag right here is called markers.true. You could always delete this once you are over with your effects. So it's always best practice to just keep it on during development and then just turn it off when you're ready to go live. Like I said, this is the visual cue, so it's going to help you a lot. So to go back into this part right here, so you're saying start this effect once this blue gets to 50%, it's going to start. And then you see where it says scroller-end. This is saying bottom 85% of the page. So that is going to end once it's at around 85% of the page. So depending on how big your block of text is, you may need to increase or decrease these numbers right here. So this is where you're going to have to turn these markers on, and then you can visually kind of just tweak this as you need. And then these other options down here for scrub and stagger, you can change these. These are kind of like how much of a delay there will be in between the effects. But in this case, 0.02 and then 0.6 is good. And then this other code I added down here, I was having issues when I originally added this code. It wasn't really working on mobile very well. So this code right down here fixes anything that you have issues with, like mobile, like if you scroll up and down too quick. Sometimes the browsers don't really work that well, but I found that this code is working really well. I just added this to a client website, did lots of testing. So yeah, this code is good to go. And so that is the most basic way you do it, where you just have the one block of text, you scroll down, and then it's going to just work. So now when we have the markers on, if we go to the page where it says scroller start, this is at 50% of the page. So right where this start gets lined up to here, you're going to see the effect is going to start to work. So if I slowly go, you can see it's going to slowly go all the way. And then when this little end marker hits right here where it says scroller end, the effect's going to stop. So once it gets to there, the effect is 100% stopped. So like I said, this is at 50% and then this is at 85%. So yeah, you're definitely going to need to go ahead and do some tweaking. It's never going to always be 50%, 85%. You're going to have to change that around depending on how tall your sections are and everything. So that's going to be the most basic one, where you just have one block of text and you don't really want to worry about mobile too much. So let me just give you a quick demo. If I go into like a mobile screen, if I scale this down into something like, we're at 587, I think that said. So if I go up here, hit reload, this effect is still going to work pretty good. So it's going to start once that container is at 50%. So you have a couple different options. If you don't want to mess around with the next part of the tutorial is going to be if you want some mobile responsive controls. You could always change how the padding's working in your containers. So you might be able to just easily tweak this area without having to worry about changing like the mobile breakpoints inside of your GSAP code. So depending on your use case, you might be fine with that first example. But as you can see, there might be a situation where you want to be able to change the 50% and the 85% like markers. You can't do that with that code I just added, but in this next part of the tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can have different breakpoints and move these scrollers around depending on what your resolution is. So let's jump into that part of the tutorial and show you how mobile controls work with GSAP. So everything you set up on the page can just stay as the first part of the tutorial. So I'm not going to change the container. Everything's going to be called the same thing. So text-split, this is going to be an H2. But now I'm going to swap out the code, and like I said, it's going to be in the description below. This is going to be your mobile-friendly code. So if you scroll down into this area right down here, there's this new section called Detect Mobile. And what this is going to do is kick in a different starting and end points depending on what your resolution is going to be. So in this example, let me go ahead and hit publish and show you the difference. So if I go into this page and hit refresh, so once I hit refresh, everything should look the same. The scroller start is going to be at the 50%, just like I had it before. But now if I scroll into a smaller resolution, I'm going to hit reload. You're going to see that the scroller start point is now like down here. This is like 70%. So now the effect, once I scroll right here, you can see if I scroll down, it's going to start once it gets like the 70%. So once the user scrolls, it will start a lot later. So this is going to give you a little more control over that breakpoint, and it's at 768. So you can go ahead and change to a different breakpoint or add multiple breakpoints if you want. But let's jump back into that code. So now if we look over into this mobile code, this is how it's working. Is once this value gets to 768, which means the width of the window. So once the user is on a device that's 768 or less, it's going to kick in this responsive value. So the very first value right here where it says top 70, and then this first value right here, bottom 95. These are your two mobile values, and then this is going to be everything above that. So basically, when you're on mobile, the effect will start at 70%. On desktop, it's 50. And then down here, it will be toward the bottom at 95% for mobile. And then up here, this is going to be for desktop. So it's kind of backwards. When I first started looking at this code, I thought this was the desktop value, but no, it's the mobile values first, desktop second. And then this stuff is all down here the same. So this is going to be the color it wipes onto. This is the white. Up here was the original color, just like we had. So all of this stayed the same. You just change these values up here. So if you want this number to be higher or lower from 768, you can go ahead and just change that right here. So in most cases, you probably just want to have one breakpoint. But if not, you have, of course, options to do like tablet and laptop or anything. So that's what I like about GSAP. It gives you like full control over everything. And then right down here, everything is going to stay the same. And like I said, once you're done, you can go ahead and just delete this markers. But let's go ahead and just do some testing. And I'm going to hit reload right here. So this is at 50% for desktop. And then when you scroll down, you're going to see right here, everything seems to be working. And then if you start to see multiple starts, sometimes you might have to like reload the page. So sometimes with the code, it can kind of get a little bit wonky because this is actually going to be the start for when you go to like mobile. So if you keep an eye right here where it says scroller start, if I scale down to something below 768, you can see it added the second scroller start right here. So you can see if I hit reload, that's going to be the one that's going to start. So let me go ahead. So we're on as if we're on a fake iPhone or whatever. So it's going to start at 70%. So once the user gets to 70%, you can see the effect is starting to kick in. And then it's going to end when that gets right down, right this end marker hits here. So like I said, there's a lot of different ways you could not have to deal with this type of code, and that would be like change the padding here or whatever, and it might be fine. But I just wanted to give you the option that you have a lot of granular control over different breakpoints. So now let's jump into another common scenario, and that would be if you have multiple blocks of text like this, and you want that effect to happen. You're going to have a little bit of a different code to make all that work. So now let's jump into that. So now here's a good example if you have multiple blocks of text that need that same effect. So let's go ahead and what I did is I just duplicated this first section just to show you how this works. So everything stayed the same. So I called the CSS class the same thing, text split. I just duplicated it down here. You can see in the outliner over here, I have it just called heading, and I have the same CSS class. So you're going to want to make sure that stays the same because that's the way it has to work. And then this all stayed the same. So I went ahead and just made sure it was the same block of text, an H2. So I just basically duplicated it for this demo. Then what I like to do is if I have multiple headings like this, I like to throw this HTML widget on the bottom of the last one. I don't like keeping it up here because I might forget. So just visually, I like to have it where it's at the bottom of the very last text. So go ahead and just paste in the code I have for the multiple block of text for this to work. And it's pretty similar. There's just a few instances that you might have to change up. So this whole area right here is all staying the same. This all stayed the same right here. H2, so this is where you're going to want to go ahead and make sure that if you don't have this as an H2, you're going to have to change it right here. And then in this situation, I wanted to show a little bit of a different color. So I'm starting with a white, and then I'm wiping onto like this blue color right here. Then right down here, you're going to see the trigger looks a little bit different. This is just called section. So this is just saying triggering at that section for split text. And then that's it. All of this code down here is all the same. And that's all you have to do really is just make sure all these match up and change your colors. And then right here, I just have the start point at 50%, ending at 85. So now if we go ahead and publish this page, and let's go ahead and refresh on the front end, make sure everything's working. So here are the different scroll marks, which is 50%, 85%. And then I like to slowly go like this, just make sure that it's starting at the white color and wiping onto the blue. So that section works. And then once you get down to this other section, it's going to work just as well. And then what I like to do is just do multiple passes like this, go up and down. Another thing I like to do is I like to try to make things glitch. So if a user goes like real fast like this, I want to make sure that it's working. So that's what that code was at the bottom that I added for the mobile, is it makes it where it refreshes the page a lot more often. So now let's go ahead and to like a mobile, make sure that this works. So it will scroll, it will start right at 50%. Go like this. And then that all seems to be working. So like I said, I like to do multiple tests. And then they also have this button right here where you can actually like go to, let's say like an iPhone 12 Max. And I'm going to refresh the page. So now here I am in a kind of like simulated phone. So if I scroll down, you're going to want to make sure that that works good. If I go like this pretty quick with my mouse, I'm just testing it. And then I would definitely recommend load this up on a real mobile device and give it some testing, because you might get slightly different results. But yeah, that's it. So now everything seems to be working. You can have multiple chunks with the same effect. And that's it for this video on how you can highlight text on scroll with GSAP and Elementor. Thank you for watching. This is Mark from Wiki.